Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Way of the Brush. With me, your host, Kris, aka Mini Wargaming Kris, aka Hey You, Get Off My Lawn, aka The Name Butcher, aka messes up the intros every once in a while and can't remember where his place was. Way of the Brush, the most informative 120 minutes on the internet on the wargaming lifestyle. We'll talk about painting, terrain, conversions, and everything under the sun. For anybody who's new, we usually talk a lot of painting, and we talk a whole lot of what's under the sun. So, be prepared for that. It's not like it gets raunchy or anything like that. It just, we end up, straying off the path every once in a while. So I can see all the monkeys joining us in the brand new year. This is episode 143. This is the first episode of 2017. Hopefully it'll be a good one this year. I don't see why not. No, I don't see why not. Everything's been, shaping up pretty good. The games have been going good, and it seems like, more and more people are getting into the hobby as I'm constantly getting bombarded by, more and more questions about this or that. And so, this hobby has to be expanding, and so that's a good thing. That's a good thing that there's more and more people involved. More and more. And so the monkeys joining us today. I can see Ghost of Starman Deluxe. For some reason, there's beauty tips section in my recommended videos full of past episodes of Way of the Brush. 100% proof that the YouTube algorithms do not work. Beauty tips. Beauty tips? I don't know. Blake D, I got makeup vid suggestions as well. Tolo, looks like Google YouTube changed stuff again. Yeah, it looks like it. Hopefully I haven't broken anything. Hopefully not. Blake D, I think it might be because of airbrush video searches. Yeah, and there's a lot of makeup airbrushing involved in too. Like when you talk airbrushes, because you got airbrushing for like cars and stuff like that, and you got airbrushing for models and hobby stuff, and then you got airbrushing for makeup and stuff like that. So yeah. Anyway. Mick Whiskey, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Clay Tate, hey, y'all. How's it going in the new year? I think it's going fairly well so far. Are any of you guys into your New Year's resolutions? You make a resolution. This year I'm going to do this. This year I'm going to get this done. Or this year I'm going to, take more walks. I'm going to, get more exercise. I'm going to paint more. I'm going to, I don't know, kick the dog less. You know what I mean? Like things like that, right? So, Kris is back on the bandwagon again. Bandwagon being no smoking. So I've been smoke free for almost a week now. It hasn't been quite as bad as last time. Last time I was just ready to myrtleize people. This time hasn't been bad. It's just, like I really didn't smoke all that much, and, so, it wasn't too bad. And the last, week or so, I was, kind of, just, not really smoking all that much, and, and so when it was cold turkey day, I said, no more. And that's it. And so far, it's day 6 for me. Day 6. Back on the bandwagon, I know. Bandwagon guy. The quitters. Winners never quit, right? Winners never quit. G squared, made it. Welcome, monkeys. Lord Krabby, sup? Blake D, good morning. Mick Whiskey, glad I can make it today. Lord Krabby, sup, guys? Vasilis? Well, I'm going to try and pronounce his last name. Mavor Giges? Oh, geez, I didn't. I'll just say Vasilis. Anyway, hello. To Shrama, good evening. G squared, same here, no sound. No sound? Don't tell me there's no sound. Oh, the intro had no sound. I'm wondering if it's because I had that clicked. I think I had that clicked. Yeah, the intro probably had no sound. Because I probably did one of these things. Right? There's sound now? Yeah. Okay, it's enough of that. Yeah, it was probably my fault. I had a button clicked. You know, hey, come on now. We can't start off with 2017 completely perfect now, can we? We can try. Ain't gonna happen. Grammy Wald, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Sabo Perez, there he is. Hello, everyone. Toshirama, are we going to work on the Space Marine suit? Are we going to work on the Space Marine suit? I'm going to work on the Space Marine suit. Hopefully get something done today. I got to get some more of the bits cut and glued together. I wasn't quite tempted. I don't know if you guys watched the vlog, but I've got like just the top half and like the back mohawk half, but I still have like the ear portions to do. I'm confident still that this is going to fit my skull. So I'm still confident that's going to fit. If it doesn't, I'll be mildly disappointed, but then I'll have to adjust everything. And that's a huge pain because, you know, then I got to redo all those templates and but yeah, but also there was some other stuff I wanted to work on because there's a little tournament coming up pretty soon, and I wanted to get another unit of Wraithguard done, and so I've got them sitting on my desk right now. Just the bodies are laid out and the heads are separate, and so basically I'm just going to airbrush the crap out of these guys and, you know, get them done that way. Just get them done in time, kind of thing. Just real quick. Saman, of course. You know, I'm not going to do anything too fancy. It'll be a dark red with. Although I was thinking of copying, Johnny Wraith when he shown his Wraith card. Yeah, I think I might copy how he did the heads on them because it looked friggin' cool. I can't remember which episode that was that we showed his. It was the last couple episodes, 1 or 2 episodes ago. Anyway, we showed Johnny Wraith stuff. But anyway. Bearing 9-1. Hey there. Hi there. Ho there. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. What's everyone working on? I've got to build a Gene Stealer called Lehman Russ by tomorrow. Ouch. Lord Krabby. Kris, thanks again for the Infinity model. No problem, dude. Hopefully you I put it together by now and maybe start painting it. If not, do you play Infinity as well? I don't know. I can't remember if you said that you played Infinity as well. But either way, hopefully it's a good addition or get you started. Because, you know, I mean, I know a lot of people who play Infinity and they just think it is the bee's knees. And so, bee's knees? Cat's ass? I don't know. I can't remember whatever the expression is. I know that they think very, very highly of the game. And, you know, from what I've seen, it looks like a really good game. The mechanics of the game are pretty good, you know, so. But yeah. Steve Cox, hey monkeys. G2 beauty tips because of brush. Maybe. Yeah, that seems logical. Kurt Krishon, late. Oops. Clumsy Jugular, hello everyone. Ghost Starman Deluxe, you can do it, Kris. We believe in you. Well, thank you. Dr. Santos, greetings monkeys and Monkey Lord. Greetings, Dr. Santos. Isaac Neal, hey yo Kris, any tips on the quick felt Blood Bowl pitch? Want to be able to roll it up. Well, I mean, you could, okay, like bare bones, boring, but it's got the pitch on it. Find yourself one of those GW grass mats. You know, the GW ones are like $20, $30, I think. Canadian anyway, or American. They were like static grass, but rolled up into a mat, right? And then get yourself some like white paint. Probably white ink would probably be best. Just because it would dye the grass a lot neater rather than paint being kind of just a little bit too thick. You might want to thin it down. And then basically what I'm suggesting here is that you lay the mat out and then you lay out the grid of the pitch and paint it in white onto the mat and then let it completely dry. You might want to seal it. I don't know. And then roll it up and it should be ready to go. That's one idea anyway. That's about as quick a pitch as I can think of. Mind you, though, you have a lot of excess space, so you probably, like, with one of those mats, you probably could do probably just 2, I guess, with lots of overhang. Because the Blood Bowl pitches are, like, 2 by 3? Maybe you could do 3, I guess. Because those old GW grass mats, they were 4 by 6, I believe. So you got enough there to do something with it. But anyway. Blake D. Kris, my New Year resolution is to strip and repaint all my Space Marines. 5,000 point-ish. Holy moly. And Tau, 4,000 point-ish. Oh my gosh. And maybe buff up my DE, Dark Eldar, if they get good an 8th. Cool. So this is going to be a year of stripping. You're just going to strip all year. It's a year stripping. Well, he's going to repaint. Yes. Okay, he's going to strip and repaint. Okay, I got you. That's a lot of work. Isaac Neal, I'm going to try and lose 100 pounds. Lost 80 the last year. Cool. Do you feel like it's necessary to lose that 80 pounds? Or is it health-wise, like you probably need to? Or is it purely cosmetic that you just want to lose 80 pounds or 100 pounds just because you want to look trim and, pretty? Either way, it's fine. I mean, do it for the right reasons. So, Vasilis, last name means Black George. Mavro Georges. I don't know. I'm saying the name wrong anyway, so I'm not gonna say Vasilis. It is Vasilis, right? Yeah, Vasilis Black George. Unless we just call you Black George, but then I don't know. That doesn't sound right either. Steve Cox, all hail the four-armed emperor. Clayton Tate, my New Year's resolution is to finish my orc army, a couple of squads, vehicles, and custom Stampo, and I'll be good. Yeah. And he had shown me a preview of his Stampa. It looks awesome. You should email it to me, Clayton, so that I can show everybody like what it looks like, because it looks pretty darn cool. It's pretty wild. A lot of work. No kidding. But yeah. Drewski, there he is. Cheerio. Happy New Year. Cheerio. Mick Whiskey, my boss said his resolution is to run 2017 miles in 2017. I decided that was too much running for me. I guess. To run 2017 miles in 2017? That's a lot. But if you've never ran in your life and you say, I'm gonna run, well then that's crazy. That's crazy talk right there. But if he's like, looks like a cooked chicken wing and he runs marathons and stuff like that, then I'm sure that's probably a doable feat. Spite you. Oh snap. Howdy monkeys. Howdy Kris. Happy new beer. Happy new beer. New beer. Not old beer. Not skunky beer. But new beer. McWhiskey, I'm weathering my Mechanicum Thanatar today. Thanatar. Cool. Flawless Snake, hey, got to see the live show. What's up, gang? What's up, Flawless Snake? Welcome. Welcome. Johnny's Chop Shop. Zup. Fear School. Holy moly. Fear School? Fear School. You best Fear School. Morning, Kris. Just picked up GW's Ultimate Paint Set of 189 paints. Woo! Going to start trying to paint your tips. Paint my tips. Going to start trying to paint your tip. Yeah, yes, that's what he wrote. Going to paint your tips. Well, I guess that's why it's called Fear School, because I'm kind of scared he's going to paint my tips. Just teasing. That's awesome. That's that's a lot of paint to invest in one go. So bravo. Yeah, and I mean, isn't it great? You just open that up and you've got all the colors of the rainbow at your disposal. You got every color. You can paint anything you want right now. You just think of it. You can paint anything you want, any shade of color, you know what I mean. You don't have to wait. You just go grab it. Grab your technicals. Yeah, it's great. Bravo. Stefan. Hey, Kris. What color should I use to make a cockroach look to my Tyranids? What color should I use to make a cockroach look to my Tyranids? I would stick with browns and kind of orangey, yellowy browns. Kind of like, say, for example, XV88. Things like Bestigor Flesh. even Rhinox hide, which has a bit of a red tinge to it, but you could use, like, say, Rhinox hide as a base, give a couple little highlights of, like, XV88, and then just give like a little edging of, say, Bestigor flesh or something along those lines, and then give them like a gloss varnish. Now, how you would go about arranging those colors, you'd have to examine how the cockroaches look, right? So definitely research how the colors flow on a cockroach and trying to emulate that. But yeah, as far as like painting them with like GW colors, yeah, I definitely XV88, because XV88 is a really good color that's got like a lot of it's a brown, but it's got like lots of orange qualities to it. What's another one? Rhinox hide's a good one, but it's got like red qualities to it, but it's still really, it's a really deep color. I suppose dried bark is fine too. It's just a dark brown. Yeah, anything. I think any of the colors that are going to keep you in the brown, orange, yellowy brown color, because often that's how I see cockroaches. I often see them in that browny gold kind of color. They're almost goldish kind of color, like they've been thrown in a deep fryer and then come out and ooh, they look pretty good. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Let me know if that helps, and send pictures. I think really what the big selling point is the fact that you put a gloss varnish on them, at least on the carapace parts, give them that, you know, wet, slimy kind of look. Well, maybe not slimy, but you know what I mean. Wargren, my Way of the Brush shirt arrived this week. Looks fantastic. I love it. Awesome. That's awesome. That's great. And thank you for purchasing. You guys send me a pic. You know, send me a pic. When you guys get your shirts, you guys got to send me a pic, man. Because, you know, that way when I redo the intro to Way of the Brush, it'll just be just a collage of you guys, just, you know, throughout, you know, the time, and, you know, various poses and, you know, things like that. Maybe doing like YMCA and, you know, whatever, right? Tolo, those old bats are gold. Good luck finding them. Yeah, I know they're pretty old, but I'm sure you can find some of them somewhere. I thought I saw them on the site not that long ago. Maybe, I don't know. You try somebody like War Store. I'm sure they'll probably still have something like that in stock. Something like that, anyway. Spike you, Kris. How was your holiday? Get any sweet new model kits? My holiday was good. It was pretty chill. You know, just relaxed with the family, everything like that. Christmas and everything was cool. New Year's, didn't do anything crazy. Didn't go out and party it up or anything like that. Any new models? Well, I picked up a unit of Wraith Guard because, like I said, I'm going to go into a tournament and I want another unit of Wraith Guard. So that way I'll have a unit of Wraith Blades and Wraith Guard. Because basically what I want to do is I want to take my Wraith Knight. I also want to take my Aegis line. Basically, I want to take everything I haven't taken in a while and bring it. And, you know, and bring it, right? So, yeah. As far as model kits, though, did I buy anything? I don't think I bought anything. Other than Wraith Guard. Like I said, it's pretty chill. And, you know, yeah. Where am I? Black Widow. Hey, made it. Hello, everyone. Hello, Black Widow. Spite you. Hey, Krabby. What's up? New Year. Happy New Year. Lucian Valensor. Hey, Kris. At Kris, I should say. I got the Infinity models. I won, and it was a great surprise. I was like, what the hell did I order from Canada? Good. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad everybody got their packages. Well, at least not everybody, but I mean, hopefully everybody's gotten their packages by now. And, you know, are happy. Because, I mean, like, you know, free stuff, right? So, you can't really complain at free stuff because you got it free. I mean, you know, the expression, beggars can't be choosers? You know, that applies. Dr. Santos, my 1,000 Sun Praetor is 90% done at the moment. It just needs a Mark III shoulder pad and a little bit of paint. Cool. Blake D, Kris, got an airbrush now. It's how I found your channel, looking for tutorials, so I should be a lot quicker now. Redo my old cruddy paint jobs before buying some new stuff. Oh, okay, so I see you're going to strip everything down and then airbrush everything and get a nice, new, consistent, clean kind of looking army. Sure. I would be careful like what models you strip because I mean like some of your first models, you know, I often recommend people keep them. Don't strip them and repaint it Keep it. That way you can show people a year from now, 2 years, 10 years. Hey, this is the first model I did and it sucked. You know what I mean? Like, so I wish I kept mine because people people go on about like, well, Kris, you paint so well. I said, well, I wish I could show people so that it builds their confidence that as long as you stick with it, like you'll get better. And I wish I still had some of my really old crappy paint jobs because I could say, here, look at this is what I was painting like 30 years ago. I mean, it's crap, and people go, oh, that is crap, and they'll go, I can paint better than that, and and it's all about it's all about helping people, right? So, yeah. Coffee. Where are we? Giant Shop. My resolution this year to actually email Kris some pictures of my work. Please do, Johnny. Please. I'm going to skip some of these little comments ahead a bit. Go Starman Deluxe at Kris. Are there any plans for mini wargaming for me to paint the new Celestine? No plans as of yet, but you never know. The only thing is that the way Quick Tips have been working is as long as I can build up a good enough leeway, or unless of course I treat the painting of there as a quick tip, but then it's not quick tips, and so it's all kind of gray. Let me see here. Okay. Dorn Jr., morning from rainy California. Tech Marine, where do I get the shirts at? You get the shirts at, just click on the description below and you'll see a link to the Way of the Rush t-shirts. And you'll also see Way of the Rush Facebook page. You also see Twitter. I started a Twitter account. Oh, that's the other thing. That's the big one. That's the big one right there. Twitter account. Started a Twitter account. So it's in the description below. Oh, no, it's not in the description below because I didn't add it yet. But anyways, Twitter, Kris Bello knows. Oh, it is in the description below. I did add it. Never mind. Anyway, yeah. So Twitter, and that was just so I can kind of spout off reminders, things like that. Anybody who wants to follow real time, and I don't know. I really don't. I'm not 100% behind Twitter as opposed to Instagram, as opposed to I don't know all the other gibbly-gook. Oh, there we go. Somebody just followed, probably. So, anywho, I probably should turn the volume down to that. That's like way across the other room. That was really loud. So, yeah. So, Twitter. Kris is doing the Twitter now. Again, that's just for, more ways to follow and, stay keeping in touch and see what I'm doing. And I might actually, kind of like post, because it's really, really fast and I can do it from my phone, right? That, I can just kind of post like, shows canceled or shows on, whatever, right? So you guys get the point. I'm sure you guys have better uses for Twitter than I do. I have no idea why. I'm still not. I just started it. I'm still not convinced. I'm just whatever. Anyway, Wargrin. I'm sitting in front of 3 unpainted Imperial Knights and just can't decide on what color schemes I should paint them in. What color schemes? Well, I mean, if you're familiar with like the lore of the houses and stuff like that, paint them in the the house that kind of you identify with. Otherwise, I'm always a big fan of the red and hazard marks and the metal. Was it Legio? Is it Legio Metallica? And because it's Metallica, right? So it's metal, and come on. Anyway, coffee. I think it's time for an email. What do you guys think? Because I'm way behind on the emails too. Oh man. As I said, I was on the bandwagon. I quit smoking again. I feel like having a smoke right now. But I've never smoked during the show, so I don't know why all of a sudden it would just be, I need to smoke right now. But anyway, I said, click that. Let's go. Click. Click. This is from Chubby Owl. Cubby Owl. Chubby Owl. Cubby Owl. Oh, Lauren. Anyway. Okay. Hey, Kris. Finally got back into 40K after an on-off. Hey, on-off. Off and on? Off and on or on and off? Hiatus. Work was crazy. And went with the Harlequins. Or rather combined Elder Army with them as headliners. I like that. With the headliners. And was wondering what you think. These are a little old though, and I've since expanded the army and will get pics of those ASAP. Thanks for looking and keep up the great work, Lauren. I said it was Chubby Owl. Oh, I'm an idiot. Anyway, Harlequins. I like them. Nice and clean. Nice lines. Now, the black looks really cool. All slick like that. Now, mind you, there's no highlighting on it. But I still kind of dig it. Just because all these other elements are really kind of bright, right? And you can kind of see the way the light's playing off of it naturally because there's just a gloss on it, right? Which is, you know, it just looks cool. I dig it. It's forgivable in my book. Fear School, you need Instagram. I do have Instagram. I can't remember what my Instagram thing is. It's probably Kris Bello as well. I'm really boring like that. I'm kind of past the point of creating crazy online handles. I like the transition on the collar here. That's very cool. It's very different. Very interesting on the boots here. They almost look like they're metallic. Like it's a metallic on the boots. Kind of goes with the hair almost. And the shadow sear, I'd like to see a little bit more of that. That looks really cool. The overall color scheme I kind of like. It's really cool. It's black with like these, these primary elements to them. Solitaire, like these guys. Very nice. Careful of your dry brushing, of course, not to have too much paint on your model. Or on your brush, I should say. Very cool. I like the Solitaire model. The Solitaire model is really awesome. Oh, here we go. Look at this. Looks like almost like got some blending going on in the hair. That's really cool. I like that. I like the little hints of blue in there. Blue-gray or something. And you get the color playing through. Yeah, I like the color scheme. I'm not really one for the dark kind of Harlequins. I like my Harlequins, bright and colorful, right? Clowns. I like them to look like clowns. Very, very cool. Very awesome. Again, love the hair. Just fabulous. Yeah, I like the transitions going on. I like the small transitions. Like you got like a mostly, fairly kind of, just static placement of like color, and then also you got these little areas where there's little color transitions going on. I like that. It's very cool. Very, very, very cool. Thank you for sending those in, and don't be afraid to send more in the future, of course. Again, I like the color scheme, and even though the black wasn't highlighted, it had that shiny quality to it, which makes it kind of forgivable that it's not. And I mean, I think you're painting to a tabletop standard, so I don't think you're too concerned with having pristine looking models. I think just get them done painted and get them to the tabletop, right? But very cool. Thank you for sending those in. That was awesome. Where am I? Johnny Wraith. Hey, lovelies. Lovelies? Johnny Wraith, I was just talking about you, buddy. I was just saying how I was gonna rip off your how you did the your Wraith Guard, the helmets on the Wraith Guard. Yeah, I'm gonna rip that off. Don't worry. Totally. Totally. Morgan, no, Morgan, no. Haldane Urbanist, oh my gosh. Hello all. Phew, almost missed it. Not quite. You're only about a half hour late, but we were still just doing roll call and stuff at that point. Roll call usually lasts about 15 minutes. Coffee, Johnny. Oh. I ripped that off of you, though. Did you? No. Yours looked better, though. Whatever you did, yours looked better. I like the way yours was done better than mine. Anyway. That's funny, though. Totally going to rip off my own idea from this guy. That's funny. That's funny. Only I could do something that dumb. Oh, man. Let's do another email because we're behind and we got to catch up, right? This is from our good buddy, Dr. Xantos. Greetings, Monkey King. Here are some bad pictures of my recent work. I promise to show you my dreads, so here's a picture of them all so far. They're a Death Watch themed Dreadnought formation going with the Space Wolf rules. Also, here are some pictures of my 30K projects, my Primarch Magnus by another company. He's still in a bit of a work in progress stages. Then there are my first 1,000 Sun Marines. Marines were painted with the Minotaur Fresh Blood way. Cool. And I think they went pretty well. I have another 10 Marines and a surprise HQ, one that will make some people scream heresy in the making. That's about it for me. No wait text. No wall of text this time. But maybe next time I shall remember to make more pictures and write lingual wall of China. Write a lingual wall of China. Jeez. Yeah, I better learn to read a lingual wall of China. Anyway, let's have a look at Dr. Xantos' metals. Oh, look at that. So he, as he mentioned, he went with the Minotaur Fresh Blood. And it looks great. Looks awesome. That's that whole, what the hell is it called? Rubicon? Is that what they call this color scheme? Anyway. Very, very, very cool. I like nice and clean. Can we get a closer look on these? Oh yeah, look at that. I love this metallic red. I mean, I did my Wraith Knight in it, and I'm so happy I did it that way. I almost want to do all my Eldar in metallic red. Just go bananas, go ham, and just do like the whole thing just metallic red. But yeah, very, very cool. Yeah, so anyway, he said he did the Fresh Blood method, which is Minotaur's deep red color, which is a clear. It's the ghost tints. And basically all you do is you just paint the model silver and then just hit it with these ghost tints and bang, you're done. You're done. It's as easy as that. It's like you just, man, but it looks so good. Like, you know, I mean, it's easy like to do, but it looks so darn good. And, you know, I mean, with any of the ghost tint colors, you can do anything really with that, which is just awesome. And, yeah, so. Of course, you can always go with Forge Worlds, which is Angron Red, which is a very similar color. I mean, they were almost indistinguishable when I laid them on my palette. Minotaur Fresh Blood and Forge World Angron Red. The only difference being, though, is that the Angron Red, the Fresh Blood, you have to seal after using. Whereas the Angron, I found I did not have to seal it. It would not bleed into the next color. Whereas Minotaur Ghost Tints tend to bleed into the next color for some strange reason. Wow, look at these. Very cool. This is almost like what Justin is doing here at the office. Making a Death Watch Dreadnought company. Now you've got 5. Justin's got you beat. Justin's got, I think, 9 Dreadnoughts. All different chapters. All different, like, things. But this is very, very cool. Yeah, and he said, yeah, he'd use the Space Wolf so that he could do just an all Dreadnought. But I mean, you can just do it unbound, right? I mean, you can just take all these Dreadnoughts, just do it unbound. Oh, look at this guy. Oh, you said this is pre-heresy primer, right? From another company. I take it this is supposed to be Magnus. He's got the chest horns. Very cool. He's casting a spell. Make sure you keep your work area clean. Keep it clean. Very nice edging on that Dreadnought. That's nice and clean. Very cool. Very nice work, man. Nice and clean. I mean, it's your painting is so clean. Like this, like the little detail pinstripe work here is so nice. Bases, of course, look really, really great. Oh, is that it? Oh, here, I'm still clicking the damn thing. Anywho, thank you, Dr. Santos. Very, very cool. I like your painting, man. So nice and clean. You know. Oh. Oh, you sent it twice. Okay. I thought you had like a part 1, part 2 thing going on. You sent me the email twice. All right. So where are we in these comments here? I don't know. Dorn Jr. Kris on a Bastillodon underbelly. What layer could I slip in some green wash glaze under bone to have just a tinted green under a screaming skull? Kind of like a pastel mint green? Yes. Yeah, you can do that. Like if, for example, if you have say so, like Caliban green on top or Castellian green or something like that, right? One of the darker greens, and you want to go with say you can always go with Screaming Skull for the belly. Put that into the belly. Then you can always take a bit of whatever your top layer of green is, the dark green, and mix a little bit of your belly color, mix those together, and basically just fill in that line between the two. And then when you use your inks and shade washes, it'll actually help kind of marry that transition in. And so you have this kind of quick kind of transition between the two areas. That's one way to go about it. Anyway, it's just one idea. I mean, other than wet blending that and, creating the transition. But if you're not comfortable with wet blending, then, don't do it. Haldane Urbanus, awesome. Does that work with Tamiya Ghost Tints? Tamiya? You mean like the Tamiya clear colors? Because the Tamiya clear colors are different acrylics altogether. They're different beasts altogether because with Tamiya colors, you have to thin them with alcohol. Alcohol speeds up the drying. Now you can add those colors to an airbrush and thin it with a bit of alcohol and spray it, and it'll go on your model fine, and it's not gonna cake up your brush or anything like that because again, you just need a bit more alcohol, just kind of flush the brush out, and it's fine. And in fact, some people are actually they use a bit of like an alcohol mixture to flush out the brush just because alcohol is such a good cleaner and it's gentle on the chrome. Yeah. So. Yeah. But you can use Tamiyas to your brush. But Tamiyas aren't like they have clear colors, but they're not like the ghost tints. Tamiyas are a different beast. Kyle King 555 question: should I use acrylic flow with the tint set? I would not. I've found mixing any mediums into ghost tint or even the Forge World clear colors creates a fogginess, and the fogginess doesn't leave for whatever reason. So I would not recommend it unless, of course, Unless, of course, you had access, I would suppose, if you had access to what the exact makeup of the, say, the ghost tint, if you had the exact makeup of what that acrylic binder was, like whatever, if it came from like a particular company or what the recipe was for it, that you can just simply add more of that clear acrylic binder, then, you know, that would be fine. I'm sure you wouldn't get any adverse effects. Because, I mean, taking, say, like Liquitex clear, clear mediums and mixing them into Minotaur's Ghost Tint, yeah, it fogs it up. I tried it with Citadels. I tried it with Liquitex. I think I even tried it with Vallejos. But Vallejos are always kind of milky anyway. And so, you know, it's kind of hard to trust that. So, but yeah, it's kind of a pain. Mad Cow Crazy. Bah, I'm late as usual. Bah. Oh, it's okay, Mad Cow. Dr. Santos, I had to send it like 5 times before it really worked. Yeah, it was kind of yeah, I remember that. It was kind of strange. You had to keep sending that email. But I got it. Rumen Matinov. Hello everyone. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Rumen. Rumen. Dr. Dorn Jr. Thanks, Kris. The top shelf is going to be a dark kind of Dark Angel Striking Scorpion colors. Use those to help the light bone bottom. And was what I was trying to do. Yeah. Because you can always take those darker colors and mix a bit of that bone color. And depending on how many times you want to layer that up and, you know, create a transition, by all means, you know, go for it. Of course, you know, I have many tutorials on wet blending, and wet blending would be the easiest way to do it, to create a quick transition through there. Especially something large like that, where you just want to get like that side section of like the ribs and the belly, and you just take your base color, take the dark color with another brush, you just blend the two together, and you know you're done. John Redcorn, yo, John Redcorn. Let's do another email. This is from Nathan. Yeah, Nathan from Australia. Hello, Kris and Monkeys. Name is Nathan from Australia. I never actually get to catch a show live, so YouTube it is for me. I enjoy your videos while playing some games such as Total War Warhammer, as I can have it in the background to listen to, except for the Alt tab to check out Monkey's email submissions. Very cool. I'm a very novice painter and have not raked up nowhere near as many hours as most have with the hobby. So I have added a few pics of my first attempts with the hobby. The Rhino is my first attempt at airbrushing, basically a white base, black sprayed as shadows, and then Minotaur green tint sprayed over top. I then also tried my hand at doing some battle damage at the front of the tank. The Orc War Boss is nowhere near finished, just trying my hand at blending on the head and trying to have the skin smooth out. Still looks chalky to me. Also a small pic of my stuff I have to paint. LOL. Other ones are my first time painting skeletons from Mantic Games, making my first base from balsa wood, some of my zombies. From the same company line, I tried my hand freehand on the Orc Boy banner, and also first time trying Dwarf banner. Also just made skin color on my Rat Ogre, not completed yet, and I think it's not too bad. Also, one more pic I got of one of your videos, and the face was too funny not to add it. Thanks for your time, Nathan. And so let's have a look at Nathan's work. Holy crap. Nathan's got all sorts of stuff on his shelves. All sorts. Yeah, I do need an Aussie accent, don't I? I don't really know the Aussie accent. I mean, other than, you know, typical, get out your mic, you know, that kind of crap. But I mean, like actually kind of like, you know, trying to talk like it, you know, with the accent. Anyway, let's have a look here. His first attempt with the airbrush with white and black for the shadows, and then ghost tint for the armor. It's not bad. And a little bit of battle damage, yeah. That's not bad. He's got to learn a little bit more control, but I mean, it's pretty darn good. Most shadows are where they should be. I think the other thing is that you want to start getting into, kind of masking off areas when you're spraying them. Depending on what kind of brush you're using, turning down the PSI and getting into some of these areas. But otherwise, this looks good. Blending on the flesh. Very interesting. Yeah. I like it. I like the varying tones you got going on. Yeah. I'm digging it. I like it. Of course, some skeletons. Skeletons look good. Look scary. Got a little glow going on in the eyeballs. Make them all look all kind of... this guy's got an axe in his head. It's very cool. Although, I mean, how do you ruin skeletons, right? It's kind of hard to ruin skeletons. Whoa. This is scary. Whoa. I gotta sit down. Very cool. Very nice. Almost looks like you're doing a bit of a non-metallic metal look to this, which is pretty bold. It's pretty bold, man. Going for a non-metallic look. Especially when you're just starting out in the hobby. As I often tell people who are just starting in this hobby, learn to assemble your models properly. Get them cleaned up properly. Prime correctly. And base coat. Nice smooth base coats. Once you've mastered smoothing, applying a smooth base coat, you're ready to move on to other things, of course, but don't rush it. Don't be in a rush to, do everything all at once, because you're not going to be happy with what you did at first, and it may discourage you, from continuing on. So, don't be in a rush. I like this. It looks like you got that nilic oxide in the flesh as well, and I kind of like that subtle tone in there. Kris, when YouTube change their functions, and don't let anyone know that they have done so. Shit, am I wearing the same shirt? No, I'm not. Oh, man. Well, thank you, Nathan, for sending that in. Awesome work. And again, doing the blending, I think really what was most impressive was your little dwarf staff. I think that was most impressive because I could tell that it looks like you're going for some non-metallic metal effects there, and right on. I mean, you go ahead, give it a try. I mean, some people who get into this, they feel confident enough that they can start trying these other techniques, and by all means, give it a try. But a lot of people, when they start to feel discouraged in this hobby, I tell them, okay, well, don't worry about those other things. Don't worry about trying to do non-metallic metal or, these other kind of advanced kind of techniques. Don't worry about those. Just concentrate on assembling the models correctly and cleaning off their edges and mold lines and stuff like that. Making sure that you prime properly and making sure that you lay nice smooth base coats down. Those are the three fundamentals. Because once you master all those, you throw a shade wash on top of your base coats, and the models will already start to pop. You pick out other little details, and the models start to pop more. You throw the decals on, the models start to pop. You know what I mean? And so, yeah. Go Star Redlux, way of the meme. Oh, who was that? More Windows updates. Spike you got to start sending more Kris memes to Kris. No, you don't have to do that. That's not entirely necessary. Okay, there's a few questions I think I messed up here. Where am I? G squared. Hey Kris, when will your steady hand grip be back in stock? Soon enough. I got to start producing. I just been partly busy, partly kind of putting it off and getting into other things, and but yeah, I'll get some more in stock ASAP. Brooke Gunther. Hello all. Discovered today it's hard to watch stream and apply purity seals. just do it so that the screen is in the background and you're doing it like that, and you're looking so that all you gotta do is just change your focus, kind of like a camera, right? You just change focus. John Redcorn. Hey Kris, I was wondering what was the most difficult Warhammer 40k model you have ever painted, and the best model you've ever painted. That looks amazing. Geez, most difficult 40k model ever. Man, I'm trying to think of any model, not just 40k, but any model. I mean, the most difficult models, I suppose, are the ones that you have not started on yet, because somewhere you're thinking, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this, right? And so you're creating your own mental roadblocks. Because like there's one model here, it's done by Savage Forge. And it's a really great model, and he sent it to me, and like I want to get it done, but I just haven't gotten around to I got the model already primed or pinned and everything like that, ready to go, and I just haven't sat down to actually kind of just start laying color down on him. But it's a big statue dude, and as far as like the most difficult and best, man, again, it's so many models. I mean, the best ones would probably be whatever one I completed. And the one model that I always love that I have gotten completed. Wait. Is this guy. I like this little guy. He is my art scale or true scale Space Marine. He's a conversion. And, I like him. It was a project that's always been on my mind to do. And I finally got it done. And, the paint job is not, award-winning or anything. But it's mostly, I'm mostly happy with it, how it looks. And, yeah. So, yeah, he'd be one of my favorites. He's a art scale Stern Guard. Basically, he's bigger than a regular Space Marine, is the whole point. Here, let's see if I can grab a regular Space Marine. Let's grab this guy here. Okay, so here, this is not a regular Space Marine. This is a 30k Marine. This is a, word bearer. And I'll see if I can line these guys up so they're kind of even stances. Yeah. You can kind of see here. See, so their feet are kind of level. And see how much bigger he is? That's the fun of art scale. Yeah. He's a good head and some taller. Makes him look like just like a little kid in armor or something. But anyway, yeah, that's one model that I really enjoyed. Just because I was inspired by his site is called Master the Forge. And he's got a tutorial on how to do that. And basically, I just followed his tutorial to do that. And, yeah. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. And it was something that, just wanted to get done. And it was one of those projects that just was in the back of my brain that, my God, I got to get this done at some point. Oh, coffee. So, John... hopefully that answers your question. If it doesn't, well then, too bad. Eddie Spirell. Hey Kris, been a while since I last tuned in. I'm going to soon send you a few photos of the Edge models painted for Awakened Realm. Oh, cool. Yeah, some of those models are really, really cool. I liked the one, the female, and she's sitting on a throne. Is she sitting on a throne? I think she was sitting on a throne. Anyway, I really liked that piece from them. I thought that piece was really cool from Awakened Realms. Despite you, it's a logical continuation of Nurglebum. Away the meme. Vasilis, I started assembling my first 40k mini Blood Angel starter pack. Any good advice on painting? Any good advice on painting? Well, let's make sure you clean the model properly. Get rid of the mold lines. Prime the model. Don't over prime the model, so that you obscure details. Right? You want to prime the model just gently, and of course, you want to lay a nice smooth base coat down onto the model. If you're going to start throwing highlights and stuff like that on it, then I definitely would recommend you get used to thinning your colors. But if you can throw a nice smooth base coat onto a model, you already know how to thin your colors to a good consistency. And so I really don't think you have to worry about that. Take your time, of course. Take your time. Don't rush it. And, enjoy yourself. It's about the only advice I got as far as, kicking a new person into this is take your time. Take your time. Don't rush it. Enjoy yourself. If you don't have the time to work on it at the moment, then don't work on it. Work on something else. Do something else. Work on it when you've got time. I know that seems kind of rudimentary, but Haldane Urbanist, buy good brushes and take care of them. Yes, of course. Take care of your brushes. Always take care of your brushes. Vasilis, I don't know if you are a vault member of Mini Wargaming, but I have many videos and tutorials on, introduction type stuff, taking care of colors, paints, kind of colors you use, thinning colors, mediums, stuff like that, all sorts, and different brush techniques as well. In the vault, if you are a vault member, obviously, then great. Start perusing some of those. Another series that I was quite pleased with, that's in the vault that we don't really push too often, but I mean it was such a really good introduction for a lot of new people, and it was the Miniature Painting 101 series, and it's basically like the first chapter of it is essentially just an introduction to terminologies and materials and techniques and all these things, just to kind of get them all out of the, because a lot of new people to this hobby get really confused by what's zenith highlighting, what's object source lighting, what do you mean by two brush blending, and things like that. And so it was I thought it was a really great introduction for a lot of new people to just kind of clear the air with all those terms and those things. Of course, it touches also a little bit on some color theory. And man, I can't remember what's all in there. There's quite a few parts to the series, but yeah, it's one that I was quite pleased with, and always thin your paints. Yeah, always thin your paints. The Gim, there he is, the Gim. Happy New Year's, Kris. Not going to say Eldars suck. Just going to say they make nice targets, and I love seeing them die. Jim is a diehard Eldar hater. He's going to hate Eldar probably till the day he dies. But he's also a bit of a closet Eldar player as well. So, got to watch out for those kind of guys too. But anyway, yeah, Jim has hate Eldar since, man, 2nd edition anyway. Just with a passion, hates them. And I've always played Eldar against Jim, and I've always made it a very hard game for him to play, to win. And I don't know, maybe it's not Eldar he has resentment to. Maybe it's towards me. But it's the Gim. I know it's the Gim. And anybody who's wondering who the Gim is, the Gim, okay, in the intro of the show, the buddy who pops up with no shirt on, that's the Gim. He was supposed to visit me a couple months ago, didn't get to visit me. It's actually, I think, probably our turn to go visit him, but We should just come for a visit. We should just stop by. Just pop out of the blue. Show up at your house. There's a whole bunch of like pillows and stuff like that. We're here, Jim. And then trash his house. And get the whole thing on video. Dr. Santos, and if they're first models, and if they're your first models to paint, then just paint the base colors solid first. A wet palette is advised. Yes, also wet palette too. I would, if anything, a palette. Paint from a palette, but a palette doesn't have to be anything special. It could be, a lid of, like a lid from a container or old plate, paper plate. Things like whatever it needs to be. Wet palette, maybe a little down the line. Johnny Wraith, add Nurglebum. And or ass capes. Ass capes. You always have to have ass capes. Oh, you guys, killing me. Let's see if I can catch up to these comments here. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. May the brush be with you always. Johnny Wraith. Oh, I love that series, Painting 101. I kept hoping you do more advanced series. I know, and I would love to. But it just hasn't had time. And that whole series was just the tip of the iceberg of what I had wanted to do, which was like a full on classroom type thing. I wanted to have a classroom type thing where basically you Vault members would join in, and even new members, where we could take a class together. And it's like a class. And so we'd learn maybe a little bit of history. We would learn a little bit of painting technique. Maybe we'd learn a little bit of color theory. And of course, we just basically all around just learn, right? And, that kind of thing. And so that's initially what that was intended for, was that it was just basically the introduction to, like a class. GS squared or G squared, yes, squared. How do I say GS squared? G squared. Awesome model, Kris. How big? How is he so big? Oh, the model. How is he so big? Well, okay. In short, I will tell you. The legs are Terminator legs. The torso is a regular Marine torso, but it's extended. The shoulder pads are Terminator shoulder pads, but with trim added to look like regular Space Marine shoulder pads. The arm with the bolt gun is a Terminator arm. The Power Fist is a regular Space Marine Power Fist. And the backpack, here, I'll look at the backpack. The backpack is 2 backpacks cut in half and extended out a little bit. Now, having said all that, go to masteroftheforge.com. I believe Master of the Forge. I believe it's called Master of the Forge. He has a full write-up tutorial of how to do this. It takes a bit of green stuff, some plastic card, some crazy glue. That's it. It's not very hard. It was one that I always wanted to do. Lee, our mini wargaming Lee, he has a full squad done up, and it looks great. Like these guys, like these big, massive Marines, look really, really great. So, yeah. Where am I? Brooke Gunther. Kris, any advice for pewter models when it comes to priming? I usually use GW sprays. For pewter models, I like GW sprays as well. White being. Black, meh. I've never used Formula P3. I've used Army Painter's black, and I was never really fond of it. No, back in the day. Now maybe they fixed the recipe. I don't know, but I know black in the day. But back in the day, The black used to wear off pretty quick. And yeah, Citadel black, it would kind of wear off, but not really. But again, I mean, with War Machine models and stuff like that, because pewter, I mean, there's the last pewter models, Privateer Press are the last people I can think of that use pewter for models still, right? And yeah, I mean, I prefer these days. I mean, I do it all by airbrush now, and I use Vallejo surface primer. You could use Stano Res as well. It has about the same consistency. And people seem to go back and forth between Stano Res and Vallejo. I've got a large a supply of Vallejo, so I use mostly Vallejo to prime my models, and I prefer to go with light gray for priming, just because it's not white is often hard to see, especially under bright light, and black it's kind of hard to see details under black, and so with a gray, you get the best of both worlds. You can see all your details and know where you lay your colors. You can still lay bright colors on top of it, and they'll still stay bright, and you can lay dark colors on it, and they'll stay nice and dark. So yeah, but yeah, I prefer GW spray. I prefer GW white, and again, as I mentioned many times before, when you're priming, like when you got your model, okay, say this is our model, and I'm spraying, I'm only about 12 inches away from the model. So here's my spray can, and what I often do is I go 2 little bursts. Well, I make sure the can's shaken up really, really well, and then 2 bursts in the front, 2 bursts at the back, 2 at the sides, 2 at the side, 1 up on top, and then like I turn it on an angle so I can catch like the underside of the model, and I'll give 1 like that, and then 1 like that, and just kind of go around, and that's it. If you still see a bit of the metal kind of showing through, that's fine. That's fine. Because that means that you have not overprimed. But you'll still see it looks a little cloudy and whatever. The primer is sitting on that surface. Because, again, primer is only there to provide a surface for the paint to grab onto. Pewter models, before you even prime, you may want to wash them. Give them a quick wash. Just lukewarm water in the sink. A little bit of detergent, dish soap detergent, whatever. Quick little toothbrush. Old toothbrush, of course. Toothbrush, and just give them a quick little scrubbing. Let them thoroughly dry before priming and gluing. Because oftentimes when we are handling models lots, our finger oils get onto the model. And so you want to, allow some of that time to, for those oils to either dissipate or just completely scrub them off anyway. I know some people use like a little spritz of alcohol and spray the model, and the alcohol will wash the grime off. There's various methods for people to clean their models before priming, but making sure that the model is clean before priming is the best way to ensure that the model primer will adhere to the model. Wargrid. Oh yeah. Touch for advanced painting techniques. That'd be great. Well, there's really not that many painting techniques, right? I mean, glazing is something that a lot of people consider to be an advanced technique, and I suppose it is, because you have to have very good control of your thinned out colors. But glazing is essentially layering, and layering is like one of the first highlights you lay down, right? You layer that highlight down. Whereas glazing is just the color is very, very thin, and you're just simply laying a layer down, let it dry, lay another layer down, let it dry, you know what I mean? And you go back and forth and you build that color up. It just takes more time to build those color transitions up, and that's what you're looking for, is those color transitions, So yeah, I mean, like, as the years have gone on, I've lost perspective as to what are advanced, what are noob techniques. Because a lot of people would say like dry brushing is a noob technique. It's a new technique, but dry brushing is very difficult to master. You have to know how much paint is off your brush stroke, a brush pressure. All these things come into play when dry brushing. You don't just simply take the brush, wipe paint off and then hit the model, because then you're gonna end up with big streaks all over the model, right? How many guys have done that with your model? You think you pulled off a lot of paint, and you go and hit the model, or there was too much moisture in your brush. And you wiped it off, and you thought, okay, I got all the paint off, and then you hit the model, and then it's still streaked, and you're like, well, what the hell's going on here? That's because there was too much moisture in your brush. So there's still lots of other things. I mean, again, I've lost perspective as to what is a noob technique, what's an advanced technique. I mean, I can see why some are called advanced techniques, but they just take more time. That's all it is they just take more time. Blending with retardant. Is that an advanced technique, or would that be a noob technique? Using a retardant, because you're using an additive to slow down the drying process so that you get a much better color transition throughout the surface. But you can take all day long with it, to get that blend, to work on that blend, versus say 2-brush blending, where basically you gotta lay the brush down, you lay the color down, and you take the other color and you blend it. Or feathering, where you lay the color down and then you just feather out the color. There is no color blending. It's just feathering out the color. Again, it's just really kind of hard. I mean, it all just falls within brush techniques. Yeah, I know. I'm afraid I might not be that much help in that category, because I mean, all the techniques, I mean, are they're all just kind of sitting there. But I mean, yeah. Anyway, the Gim, I'm coming for you. I have plans in the works. Just getting over the broken leg from a car accident. Oh, geez, nothing serious. Just some metal in me now. I'm alive, so it's all good. He's a cyborg. Jim's a cyborg. Dorn Jr., yeah, I need a building 101 after cutting the battle damage on my shoulder pads, cutting them off of the sprues so too close. Yeah. Oftentimes, you know what I do? Like when I'm cleaning the sprues, like models off the sprue, I have my clippers, and I have good and proper, model clippers. I clip about a couple millimeters away from the model, from the part of the sprue that's touching the model. I cut further away from it. Then, when the bit is free of the sprue, I'll come in with a snipper, and then I'll shear off that excess, or I'll use an X-Acto blade, a fresh, sharp X-Acto blade, and shear that off, and then begin, cleaning the parts and stuff like that, right? Despite you, Kris, have you ever used those color Vallejo primers? No, I have not. As I've mentioned before, with colored primers, the tendency is to over prime the model. Now, again, with colored primers, is it going to be the same? I don't know. But I've found in my experience, GW primers, Army Painter, all these other color primers, they're great for getting, quick tabletop. But if you want to do better than tabletop, like tabletop plus, no, you don't want to over prime the model. You never want to over prime the model, because you're going to obscure details. And you never want to obscure the details. I'm just kind of skipping through here. I don't know what the hell we're talking about. Call King 555 GW updated with new stuff, Kris, right now. Okay. With new stuff, like the new stuff. I don't know. I know that there's little paint sets coming out, and they look like the little bottles that they have the artificial colors in. They're like those little 1 milliliter bottles or whatever. I don't know. You get like, a couple brushfuls of paint inside. I don't know. Like is it like World War II again? Or are we rationing the paint? Like, is there not enough paint to go around? We got to ration the paint. But yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the hell these guys are talking about. Non-oil. Something about non-oil and a matte finish and a glossy finish. I don't know. I'm scared. Let's do an email. This is from Saba Cerez. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Wannabe Jedi. There we go. Wannabe Jedi. He wants to be a Jedi. Is it okay if I'm already a Sith? Hi, Kris. It's been a while since I wrote. I was in the U.S. since April. Army training, by the way. Cheers to any military brothers and sisters watching. And just recently got home. It turns out much harder to tune into Way the Brush at noon than in the evening. And not having my painting gear with me didn't help either. So I'm way behind. But I'm home now and made some progress on my Night Lords, and I'd like to share those plastic Tartaros Terminators are a great kit. Oh, I'd like to share those Tartaros. Read that like it was one sentence. Tartaros Terminators. You say that 10 times fast. Tartaros Terminators. Tartaros Terminators. Keep up the awesome. Thanks. Saba Cerez, Wannabe Jedi. I always say it's Saba Cerez, but I think I'm saying that wrong, but it's too late. It's too late. I'm not changing it. Awesome. Look at this guy. Love the lightning. Like the blue. Gem eyes. Very cool. I said next. There we go. Tartaros Terminators. Tartaro Terminators. Is that one right? No, that's wrong. Oh. Is that some freehand? Is that a free-handed number there that you got like with a non-metallic, or you going with a non-metallic look to it? That's awesome. That's very cool, man. That's I'm look. The paint jobs are great. Don't get me wrong, dude. Oh, Saba, he's here right now. It's fine. Okay, I mean, awesome paint jobs. I love the blue, the blend, and everything like that looks great. But if you're freehanding non-metallic metal numbers, awesome. That's awesome. He is too. Wonderful stuff. Looks really, really good. The bikes. Vroom, vroom. This guy looks like he needed his V8 or something. I drink better when I drive. Very cool. I like this guy's wing. Oh, is that it? Aww. Very cool. Very, very cool, man. Yes, freehand. Awesome stuff. That's what's right. Is it Saba? I'm going to say Saba. Very, very cool. Awesome work, man. Awesome. 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 John Redcourt, are you familiar with Gundam model painting? Yes, I am familiar with Gundam model painting. I've actually been toying with the idea of picking up a Gundam model, believe it or not, because I've really dug the Bandai models, and I've been collecting, like, for the last little bit. I've been collecting like the let's see if I can get these without all my other models falling down. I've been collecting the Bandai Star Wars kits, and I've just been loving these kits, man. These things are just so much fun. As you can see, my Millennium Falcon still needs to be finished, and I haven't finished it yet. And of course, where's Chewie? Where's Chewie? Chewie's in there. Actually, I think everybody's in there. And of course, my end lights up too. Let me see here. Look at this. So there we go. See, the back end is lit up. It's kind of bright in here, I guess. But as we get further away, you can see back end. It's all lit. Oops, jeez. And yes, I sit in my office and I make the sound effects, and I go pew pew, pew pew. Oh yeah, I know the Millennium Falcon needs more rust, Gim. I mean, I'm still on the decal phase. I finished the decals on the bottom, and then I can start with all the rust and the weathering and stuff like that. But this one is the Force Awakens Millennium Falcon, because it's got the square dish. Square dish? But yeah, I've got like other kits. I've got like a ATST. I've got a TIE Fighter. I've got an X-Wing. I also have a TIE Advance, A-Wing. I also have another TIE Fighter put together. Oh, I have the Y-Wing. Y-Wing is probably the next one I'm going to put together, though. I love the Y-Wings. But yeah. King 555, Way of the Brush, episode 143, Painting of the Past Dreams. Painting of the Past Dreams. That's deep, dude. I like it. That's deep. And let's give the show kind of a profound title like that. People just go, what are they talking about on this show? It sounds like they're talking about some really deep stuff. And we'll say, yeah, we are talking about some deep stuff. We're unlocking the mysteries of the universe, one episode at a time, talking about this and that. Straight to you, Kris. Dude, Gundams are cool. Love to see you paint one. Dr. Frost did a Bear G guy, and it was pretty amazing. Lots of interesting, very intuitive tricks to get in the sweet finish. Well, see, the thing is, though, with the Gundams, is that you can do stickers, you can do paint, but you can also do markers, and they have the paint markers for them as well. And I thought that was kind of interesting as well, because I'd like to see what some of these other techniques that we can pick up from Gundams, and apply them to, like, there's really not a whole lot other than like the panel lining and stuff like that. They got some great markers for the panel lines. I've been meaning to pick up and try out like some of my other stuff, or even just freehanding with and doing some stuff. But yeah, lots of fun. Dr. Santos, I'd love to paint a Star Destroyer or even a Super Star Destroyer model. A Star Destroyer model, well, Bandai does a Star Destroyer model, but it's like only like yay big. It's like about the Armada, the Star Wars Armada game. They're about the same size as that. At least that's the way it looks like in the pictures. I don't know. There was rumor that they were supposed to make like a bigger sized one, which would be really, really awesome. I know that there's a guy out there who has a resin kit for an Avenger Star Destroyer, and it's like $500 US. But it's a complete resin kit, and then you can like LED the crap out of this thing. And I was even toying around with the idea of picking one of those up, because yeah, that'd be awesome. Black Widow 61 at Kris. I got my hands on the Y-Wing Bandai model. Most annoying part of how over half the instructions were installing small pipes and tubes. Yeah, Millennium Falcon, you'll go blind with that, because the Millennium Falcon, the entire perimeter of the Millennium Falcon has those tiny little pipes and stuff like that in it, and you got to lay all these little tiny little things in there, and yeah, you'll go blind. But it's great. It looks great when you're done. But you're like, oh my god, yeah, it's such a huge pain. Yeah, I know. And the Y-Wing is the same thing, because it's got it just from the fuselage, and it's got it running along the main body of it too as well, and along the top parts too. And there's a lot of pipes and stuff. Yeah, but yeah, I can't wait. Lord Krabby, I'll get a sound box for your Falcon, Kris. Yeah, because my throat gets kind of dry when I can't even do it now. See, because I've done it so many times, can't even do it now. I can't even make the screeching sound. The Gim, never lend your ride to a gambler. He's going to leave marks on it. Saucerez, episode 143. That's deep, dude. Spite to you, Chris. Oh yeah, and plus they work. They do the plastic itself. The plastic itself is amazing stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I like Bandai. I like how like they'll cast something like in a white plastic, and on the same sprue it's red plastic. And although I find the plastic to be quite soft, I find the plastic is almost like Reaper Bones PVC plastic. It's like Reaper Bones. It's PVC. It's small, but I dig the way they do multiple colors like on one sprue. I think that's just fantastic. And like these kits, they're really really good. I mean, you can like they're snap fit essentially. You don't even have to glue these kits together, and they're cast in the color of their parts. So you don't even have to paint these things. Essentially, you can just put them together, put them on your shelf, or play them, whatever you want to do with them, and they're ready to go. I know like the X-Wings like that, the TIE Fighters like that. Yeah. Man, there's just so many kits. I mean, like I still have a bunch of kits sitting at home, but there's still a couple more I still want because I still want the TIE Interceptor, and I still want the Snowspeeder, because the Snowspeeder and the ATST are in the same scale. They're 148, whereas the rest of the ships are all 172 except the Falcon and Slave 1. Slave 1 and the Falcon are 144 scale. They couldn't do the Falcon in 172 because it'd be just it'd be a big monstrous kit. I don't know why they didn't, but they didn't. Oh yeah, Revel. Yeah, okay. Spite you. Yeah, he says get Imperial Star Destroyer from Revel. Yeah, I forgot Revel had done one. I know that the Revel one, I know a lot of modelers don't care for the Revel one because the details are very very shallow. I know a lot of the Star Wars kits from Revel. A lot of modelers are like, the details are just really 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 soft. They're just not really there. Spite you, yeah, Bandai is killing the model game. Yeah, oh yeah, and now Bandai are doing like the stand-up kits, and now they're doing even bigger stand-ups because they had the ones that are 1/6, I believe, and now they're doing them in, or they were 1/12, and now they're 1/6 or something like that. They're even bigger. The Stormtrooper is even bigger. He's like 18, 20 inches tall or something like that. I can't remember. It's big though. And it's all this big articulated kit, you get like the fingers that move, and they're basically like giant Bandai Gundam kits now. For your school, episode 143. Who's your daddy? Who is your daddy, and what does he do? Blake D, Chris, they use a combination of plastics, different frames, can even have half polystyrene and the other half ABS. Really? But how do they do it, man? How do they do it? Like, is it the same frame and then they inject? Because I mean, like, you don't see any color mixtures or like plastic mixture. Like the plastics don't seem to mix, right? But they're right on the same frame, and it just blows my mind. Spite you, Chris. Yeah, that's the thing about the destroyer. Don't know how I'm gonna make it pop. Yeah. Again, I know that there are third-party manufacturers out there for that Revel kit, for that Star Destroyer. They make parts like the engine nozzles and stuff like that because they're so weak looking on that kit that there's guys out there that made new engine nozzles and stuff like that. And I think there's another bridge, and I think the side guns as well, because the side guns on the model kit, they're just like flat looking, whereas the actual from the movies you could see like their turrets on them, eh? So. Yeah. Black Widow 61. Chris, I got the A-Wing and the X-Wing for Christmas, and I'm always impressed on how well the models are cast. Looking forward to getting them painted beside the Y-Wing. Yeah, I know. Same here. John Redcorn, that's pretty amazing, Chris. Hopefully we'll see some videos of them. By the way, I wanted to paint my Tau army based on the Death Size Gundam model. Death Size Gundam model. I'm not familiar with the Death Size Gundam model is. What colors and primers do you recommend me to get? I'm not familiar with that color pattern. Death Size? I don't know. I'd have to research it. I'd have to research what those colors are. Offhand, though, I have no idea, dude. Stefan Lovain. I've always put my brush in my mouth every time I rinse it in water. Yeah. I mean, I sometimes still put my brush. I mean, it's a bad habit to put your brush in your mouth, anyway. But I mean, a lot of people do it. What's really, I mean, what's a very disturbing habit to me is that some people will use their spit to thin the paint when they're working on their models, and I think that's just. And I know you're out there, and yeah. Basically, I'm looking at Ash. Looking at Ash out there. I know it. He still does it. It's gross. It's a bad habit. Blake D, the injection ports I'm guessing are on one side, and the injection machine is then loading with the PS on the other side, the ABS. It's weird. I've built 3 Gundams. My brother has done 10. Wow. Yeah, I've never done a Gundam before. I've been meaning to pick up a Gundam because I'm curious because they look like really cool kits. And there's one guy I follow on Facebook, and he always seems to be in tune with like what are these other really awesome modelers are doing with Gundams. One was where the Gundam has his sword out, and he's cutting another Gundam in half, and that person has taken those parts, they're separated, and he's basically made like this still life, right? But the part where he's cut is glowing. He put LEDs there to make it look like the glow, like from the blade, and it's all glowing. And I just blew my mind. I was just, that's awesome. It's that kind of stuff that I really miss seeing in a lot of like 40K kind of dioramas and things like that. Like this, the action, things caught in mid-action. You don't really see that much anymore in single pieces, like even Golden Demon and stuff like that. You don't see a lot of it. Everybody's all worried about, I think it's also the formula in which the models get judged, right? I mean, I think that's influenced, like how the entries look these days and how everything's kind of the same, really. And you don't get this kind of creative dynamic that you have with the pieces interacting. Like anything really kind of good anyway. All of them seem kind of stiff and rigid and just, I don't know. I'm rambling now. Mad Cut Crazy. I heard the Emperor's Children player who thinned his paint with other bodily fluid. Ooh, gross. That's gross. Sip of coffee. All right. Oh, you know what? To go back a couple pages about New Year's resolutions, because again, talk about how I'm back on the bandwagon. And the other thing was that I almost did it today, but I wasn't quite ready yet because I don't know if I'm quite ready yet. But I'm thinking of getting rid of all this and going back to how that guy looks right there. See that guy? He's got no mustache and no chin hairs. And so I'm thinking that this guy might go back looking like that guy. And for my New Year's resolution, I might shave off all this crap on my face. Just for a change of pace. I mean, it's been a few years that I've had this growing. I mean, it's been a lot of fun. Get a lot of compliments. But, I don't know. Cocking 555. Flash gets yellow for the trim, corn red for the shield, rack white, Mechanicus standard gray for the top armor for John Redcorn. Oh, for John Redcorn. Okay, so Flash gets yellow for the trim, corn red for the shield, rack white, Mechanicus standard gray for the top armor for that color scheme. Okay. Well, there you go. Cock King 555 had the answer for you, buddy. Saba. Well, he made sure no one touches his models. The Gim. Shave your head, keep the stash, and goatee. You just want me to shave my head so that you'll have... Will be some sort of opposite clones of each other, that we have facial hair and no hair on the head. I don't know. I was actually toying around with the idea too of trimming this down, if not taking it all the way down. I don't know. New Year's resolutions, I guess, eh? There we go. Email time, yo. Yo. Yo, and a wicked cup of cocoa. Yeah, let's do an email. This is from Johnny Cross. Hi, Kris. After 2 weeks of painting, when I can, I finally finished 12 humans from the box. This is my first real attempt at painting, so I have some time. So if you have time, would you love some feedback? Time would love some feedback. Whoa. Gotta learn to read English. From Johnny Cross. And so let's have a look at Johnny Cross's humans. He's painted up some humans. And I like them. Now, are they painted up in the Redskins pattern? Is that what it is? Or is it just any old pattern you've made up? Or is it like classic 49ers? Is it classic 49ers? Either way. I like it. I like the texture in the pants. Everything looks smooth. Your transfers look good. Lots of little highlights, lots of little details. I mean, these are more detailed than the models I painted. Because I didn't really paint up, the models a whole lot. The catcher is my favorite model. This is my favorite model. He looks like he belongs like on top of a trophy. But very, very cool. I like the highlighting. I like the color scheme. It all looks good. Any kind of critiques? No, not really. So, I mean, everything's pretty neat. I mean, it's just you're like the highlights, right? I mean, you're gonna get better with those highlights later on as you go. But I mean, as the highlighting goes for now, I mean, like it looks really, really good. Would I go further? Maybe a little bit brighter along the edge, But I mean, it wouldn't be necessary. The color scheme looks cool. The yellow is very striking. The highlights on the flesh look all right. No, it's a good paint job. I mean, everything within its time. I mean, you'll get better at, more confident at, and things of that nature. So, yeah, I like it. It looks good. That was Johnny Cross. Okay. And where are we in the comments? Don't know. Johnny Wraith, watching Blood Bowl models makes me sad. I'm dying to play it, but no one in my area does. Oh, well, you gotta get some people, involved, right? At least try anyway. Get the old lady to play. The Gim, I do. I miss the Top Knot. I love those human blood bowlers. Blood bowlers. I'm not sure, but is that pinhole in the for the ball in the base? Yeah, that's for the ball. So whenever you have the model, I mean, they also take a 138th magnet or 132 magnet, and it's perfect for that space because that's what I did for the studio Blood Bowl team, the humans, and I just put the little magnet in there, and so the ball's already magnetized, and so just dunk, and yeah, you magnetize them up. Excuse me. What time are we at here? Holy crap! We've got 20 minutes left of the show. Okay, let's do another email then, because we're gonna catch up. We're gonna catch up on emails today. This is Dominic's Space Librarian. Hello, Kris. Please let me know what you think about my latest model, OSL Done right? OSL done right? Oh, he wants to know if the OSL is done right. Merry Xmas and Happy New Year from Austria. This is Dominic. And so he wants to know if his OSL is done right. From the helmet, it's pretty close. It doesn't have to go quite as harsh on the brow of the mask, but it looks like there's light on the arm, and I don't know if that's like if it's just on the hand or if it's running up the arms. He's also got on the shoulder pad here, it looks like. Let's see, next picture. Okay, so yeah, so he's got like, I mean, you can have it run that far. You know, it would give that impression that the light is emanating really powerfully, like headlights coming out of his helmet. The light on the shoulder pad, I think I would have had a little bit more of the green, and then just the very tip, and just a bit of yellow. I think a little bit of brighter yellow greens here with just yellow at just the very high points of the fingers. If you were going to do that, you know, just a little bit more there. Kept it more in a straight line. Where you have the rest of it, that's fine. Let's see here, is there any on the side? Because, yeah, you see, I mean, like, it's really hard, you know, when you're projecting the light out that far from the eye, because you're imagining it's like a headlamp, really. If it was that bright, then it would be all over the place, right? And now, if the light is going to be that bright, the light is also going to be on other places as well, like here, right to his staff. There should be just a little bit of faint glow onto his staff, right? Because, well, is the light like a laser beam, or is it like headlights where there's this big cone coming out? How big is the cone? So you have all these factors involved when doing the OSL, and oftentimes you're better off not having the OSL extend past the helmet and onto, like, you know, shoulder pads and hands and things like that. You're better off just not doing it, because that way it doesn't feel like, you know, like it's a big glowing eyeball kind of thing. It's just, he's just got a bit of a glow coming out of his helmet. So again, it's up to you as to how intense you want it, but really, like, oftentimes you really don't want it extending past the helmet, especially if it's just a glow in the eyes. Like if you want him to look like, you know, Superman, where he's shooting laser beams out of his eyes, well then yeah, you're gonna do it a little bit different. But otherwise, no. It gets a little too intense, too bright. I think on the trim here, it should be more of a yellow green. I really wouldn't have done this top part of the bridge. That would have been left in whatever, the blue color. There really would be very, very little actual light gathering at this edge. More of the light would be gathered on the underside of this ledge, under the helmet. There'd be more light gathered there. But I understand, because, I mean, like, you know, oftentimes with the OSL, it's kind of like, you know, lens flare through a camera. And so it's like our eye is the camera. And so we're seeing this glow. And so the green would have to extend down about as far as where you got it, really. But I mean, I would go the light green, yellow, just along that edge of the bottom of the helmet like that. And then have the brighter yellow greens inside the center, and then white in the center as well. But that would be about it. It's entirely up to you as to if you want to leave the OSL on the rest of the armor plates. But again, you know, you got to really kind of factor in, well, how bright and how intense and what kind of light is this? Is this like a spotlight? Is this an ambient light? Is, you know, like, what kind of light is this? Is he shooting laser beams out of his eyes? You know, so there's many, many things. And of course, to avoid all that kind of, well, what kind of eyeballs has he got? Like, people, because the viewer is going to ask questions too, because, you know, you're showing something that's going to challenge the viewer to interpret. And oftentimes when we have just a very simple glow in the eyes, it doesn't challenge the viewer further than that the eye is glowing. But now you have this bright light and it's shining on his hand. Like, is he, like, you know, is he shooting laser beams out of his eyes? And so, you know, people will end up asking that kind of question. So, hopefully that helps. And send me an email if you get around to, you know, doing if you end up correcting it, expanding upon it, or leaving it, or whatever. So, yeah. Yeah, look, Krabby, I did get your email. And if I can get to it, I may get to it. In fact, where am I? There we go. Okay. Comments? Any comments? What time we at here? Holy man. 14 minutes left. The Gim. Laser beam Marines are go. The Gim Tolo. Is that Dave? Yeah, it's Dave. It's Gomi. It's Gomi. I don't have a drink. Digital eyeballs. Chuck it up to digital weapons? Yes, you could chuck up to digital weapons, sure. But why would you? Why would you? Ralph Hummel. Hi, Kris. France hollering. Watching a couple of your videos and really enjoying them. Just wanted to say that. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Despite you. What a productive 2 hours. Has it been productive? I don't know if we've been productive today. I mean, we've answered some questions and we got through some stuff, and yeah, I suppose we've been somewhat productive. Yeah, I mean, okay, let's power through emails. Everybody's talking emails here, so we're gonna keep powering through, because this one here was from the 23rd of December. This is from Matthew. Hey, Kris. In your latest Sin Talk, you said you were always looking for new topics for quick tips. Something I've always been curious about is the incredibly overlooked, for good reason, rules-wise, unit of Imperial Guard Astra Militarum Codex Rough Riders. If I were to paint some Rough Riders, I have no idea how I would even start with painting the horses. I imagine these are techniques out there for painting animals like horses, and I would love to see your take on how to paint something like that in your quick tip format. I hope you have great holidays, and thank you for your excellent content. Okay, well, that wasn't really for Wear the Brush. That was more of a quick tip idea. Get some horses done. Gotcha. Okay, this is from... this is from Johnny Wraith right here. Here, Johnny. Relax there, buddy. Relax. Relax, Johnny. Sit back, relax. We got it. We got you. Daddy's got you. Anyway. Hi, Kris. I've been painting a couple of Hornets over the weekend with the bone turquoise scheme I used on my Wraith blades. This project has been a challenge in these guys have basically a bunch of flat panels, as opposed to the Wraith Guard, which have a lot of places for shades to go and help create the bone texture. Consequently, now that I'm in the adding battle damage phase, I was hoping you could offer some guidance. I was planning on doing both with the sponge method as well as the technique you showed for damaged Wraithbone in the vault. For the sponge, do you recommend I go about in a particular way since it's a vehicle and all the flat areas? Also, could you elaborate on the comments you and Lee had about not showing where the sponge is coming from? I don't quite understand how I should go about that or go about it. Thanks for the kind comments in the Way of the Brush where you guys talked about the last email I sent. 99% of the stuff I know about painting comes from you and your videos, so your feedback means a lot to me. Sorry for the long email, and many thanks, Johnny Wraith. So, let's have a look at his... Ooh, look at these. Oh, these are pretty. Damn it, now I gotta get some Hornets. Damn it, John... Piss me off, man. Okay, so sponge. When using the sponge, now I don't know. You've got to find yourself that really kind of high density sponge. Oftentimes, whenever you go into hardware stores, they often have these finishing brushes, which are like the pennies on the dollar kind of thing, and they have this really kind of dark sponge on them. Those are the kind of dense sponges we're talking, not like kitchen sponge or anything that's too porous. You want the pores to be very, very small on the sponge. And oftentimes you get some makeup containers. I know models, some model companies still send them in their models. I know like Infinity. I know oftentimes a lot of the sponge I use is from Infinity packs or War Machine. Excuse me. Oftentimes I will tear off a little chunk, often creating kind of like this little pie shape, so that it has a little point to it, but also has kind of rough sides as well that are very uneven. It's still roughly a pie shape, but it's very, very uneven. And that's what you want. You want to have this randomness so that you can introduce this kind of random kind of quality to it. And oftentimes I'll hold it with a pair of tweezers as well. And often I have these like little clamping action tweezers so I don't have to apply a lot of pressure while I'm working on it. And of course, when you're applying the pressure to the model itself, you're just like being very, very light-handed. You want just the surface, just that very surface of the sponge to touch. You don't want to push to the point where you can feel the tweezers or whatever you're holding onto your sponge with. You don't want to feel that pushing on the surface, because then you're pushing too hard. You don't want just that surface of the sponge, just to touch that surface very, very, very lightly. For the bone, I would go like mid-tone browns, dark brown, and maybe you can even go metallic, I suppose. But I would go with something. Yeah, I suppose you can go with like Ushabti bone or something a little bit darker than that surface white. Kind of like the shade color you have going on there, I suppose. Of course, you could always go with a really dark brown and then a slightly lighter brown, and that way you just keep it feeling more like just kind of broken away chunks. Of course, like with Imperial vehicles, it's easy because you can just add the metal, and we already know it's made of metal, right? But whereas Eldar, is it metal? It could be metal, but it's Wraithbone. What is Wraithbone? We don't know. So, you can pretty much color any way you want and be correct. Fantastic looking models here. And of course, like I said, with the sponge, you got to keep it very, very light handed. It's all in how much pressure you're applying. You do not want to have too much pressure applied, because again, you're going to make bigger blotches onto the model that you're not really going to want to do. Next. Oh yeah, look at this. Love the canopy. What'd you do for that canopy? Was that just blue, or what'd you use for that canopy? You gotta let me know now. I like the transition of color going from the dark into the brighter. I like that. It almost has an Altiok feeling to it. It's like a stippling, eh? That's what you did. You did a stippling. Very good. I like it. But what'd you do for the canopy? Johnny, you gotta tell me what you did for the canopy. Because that color looks really great. I like that color. Because it doesn't quite look blue. I'm wondering, what'd you use? I'm not even sure what you used for that. It's very cool. I like it. Oh, yeah. Just barely see a little dude inside there. Johnny. It's a blue-green. Oh, you mixed the blue-green. So you took, what, Tamiya and blue and Tamiya green and mixed them? In like a 1-to-1? Really? That's very interesting. Very cool. It's a very nice color scheme. Anyway. So, yeah. And what was your main question about the battle damage? It was battle damage, right? Yeah. And so battle damage, like for these guys, Eldar, I would do it on just the leading edges and just like on the inside edges. So I mean, obviously, like that leading edge, this whole leading edge, the inside here will be a little bit leading edge on this wing, maybe once or twice in the back, leading edge here, leading edge there, maybe once or twice around these little components, maybe like where you imagine maybe his foot is touching and he's like loading and unloading from the vehicle. So maybe just a little wear and tear from where he looks like he might be stepping off the thing. But yeah. The canopy, yeah, is a blue and a green Tamiya clear, more like a 2 to 3, 2 blue to 1, or 2 or 3 blue to 1 green. Okay, all right, I got you. Thank you. I'll remember that. I'm gonna steal that idea too. I like that color though. That color looks great. I mean, it works so well with the bone. The chevrons look really, really cool. That almost looks like you let the water take over, or almost you're doing like Oh, that's what that looks like. That looks like you're doing like with salt. You let the color fall down, and then you hit it with salt. Is that what you're doing? Stop me if I'm getting close, Johnny, because um, the blue on the stripes is the same jade effect as a Wraith Blades, but with blues. Okay. The game. It's good to know that you can mix them. Oh yeah, you can mix those Tamiya colors. Yeah, you can mix them all to live a long day. The game. Kris does love his Eldar, and the flavor of cheese is strong. Shut up. Hellday and Urbanus. I was just about to say that I'd been trying to pick which to use for my grab vehicle canopies. Mixing my own color is great. Yeah. Oh yeah. Mixing your own color. I mean, like the Tamiyas, you can mix them. I mean, there's nothing. There's still paints. There's still like an acrylic paint. It's just they're different acrylic paint. They're just more toxic. But again, Johnny though, awesome stuff with these. And the weathering, I would keep the weathering to a very minimal. I would not. I would not like go overboard with it. Again, because you're just looking just for like that mild chipping and stuff like that. You can even go up on some of the armor plates and stuff like that if you're worried about, say like, okay, see the one armor plate here, and then you got like the other piece that's separating. Take like a piece of tape or something and just kind of cover it, and then dab that plate with a sponge, and so that way you have, that one plate is damaged, but that other piece is like perfectly fine. Because sometimes with the sponge, it is a little difficult to control exactly, how much you want to apply to, to one area. And so again, it's make sure that you have a very, very light hand when you do it, because yeah, it's easy to mess up. And with a bright color scheme like that, but you got really great contrast with the weapons and your chevrons, everything like that. Like they feel very well balanced as is. They feel very balanced. And if you threw in too much chipping and weathering, I feel that they'd become very muddy. And the way the mottling you have on the chevrons and all the blue areas, that mottling has that very random kind of quality to it, very organic, as opposed to the very stark white of the armor. And so again, if you threw in too much chipping, that may make the armor look kind of too organic and kind of flowy, and the contrast between the two might get lost, is what I'm saying. So yeah, I would go with less is more in this instance. That, don't overdo that chipping. Just here and there, leading edges. Try and think of it logically as to where the chipping would occur on those vehicles. But yeah. What time we at? Holy moly! It's already 1 minute to 2. Johnny Wraith. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Again, like I said, like the way you have those chevrons, it looks fantastic. It has that very organic modeled kind of quality to it, and then you have the nice stark armor, right? So, I really would not foul up that contrast that you got going on there. Visually, it looks great. It looks very stunning. It catches the eye because the starkness of the armor looks like armor, and then it immediately makes the eye want to go to those chevrons and stuff like that, and look at what's going on in all that flow of color. And so I really wouldn't meddle with it too much, because it looks great. Do we have time for one more? No, we do. Well, boom. Okay, for completeness, you know what? I think, actually... Oh, he just sent this. Lord Krabby, you just sent this. This is new. I will do it anyway. Lord Krabby just sent an email about 3 days ago, and we are going to tackle it before the end of the show. We'll go over a little bit over time. Hey yo, Kris and monkeys. Have you ever heard the expression, hell hath no fury like a woman scorn? Yeah. Well, imagine if there are two women in the equation taking a small break on a major Blood Bowl project, which is 80% done. I have added these lovely ladies to my Ravenwing biker list. They are just standard chaplains because GW doesn't really have chaplain model in plastic, and I have an affinity for anything fast. I got to combine them with my Black Knights, and what a combo. It took some time to shade, and speaking of which, the shiny effect is simply not shaking your non-oil and applying it to a dark base. That's how I was able to get the effect. Anyways, hope you enjoy. I will send pics of the Blood Bowl 1,000 orcs soon. 1,000 orcs. Lord Krabby. P.S. If you're wondering where I got them, it was on eBay. I think there is a company that does third-party miniatures like the Tau and the cigar in his mouth, but forgot the name. Oh, okay, I know which one you're talking about. And so that's these guys. Oh, so bad. Very cool. Oh, okay, so it's like a female chaplain. Oh, let me fix the picture here. There we go. It's a female chaplain. With big plasma guns. Very cool. Very interesting bike. I kind of like the wings in the back portion of the bike. Like this bike actually feels like it's the reverse. Right? It feels like the front and that feels like the back half. She should be sitting that way with the wings in the front, the guns up here, and the exhausts over here. I wonder if that's all they did. At any rate, very, very cool. It almost has like a chaos feeling to it too. I think a slightly lighter flesh shade. There's not a little highlight of flesh on the skin, just to really kind of bring her out from the rest of the, because her skin almost looks like the same value as the gold and the parchment. And of course, you have to have the cleavage. No self-respecting chaplain will go into battle without her cleavage showing. At least that's the way I've always understood it. I don't know. But very, very cool. Those are very cool. Yeah, I can't remember what I think they're called wargame models, something like that. Yeah, they got Tau. They have warp spiders. A friend of mine just ordered some warp spiders and he got them in. I think the warp spiders look really, really cool. They look the part. But, you know, I mean, they have a very nice dynamic pose as opposed to GW's very static kind of, you know, all the warp spiders kind of, you know, on guard kind of thing. Kind of boring. But, yeah. Lord Kirby, yeah, it's a bit reversed. Yeah. Hell, the Urban is heresy, but awesome. I will submit myself for flagellation. The GIM, Dr. Sanders is correct. They have a lot of cool minis. Yeah, it's Wargamer exclusive. That's it. Wargamer exclusive. Yeah. Yeah, because they got like the Warp Spiders. They got like the Tau models. They got other like bits and bobs and stuff. So, anywho, I am caught up for emails. So, if you want your email read on the next show, at least I should be able to read it on the next show, send it to Kris@miniwargaming.com. Because yeah, I am caught up. I'm caught up on emails. I'm all caught up. I mean, Johnny Wraith sent me an email and Blake sent me an email about Gundams as well. But I mean, we'll worry about those next week. So, any questions, comments, you want your piece critiqued, you want some help on a color scheme, whatever it may be, maybe you just want to show off your painting, send it to Kris@miniwargaming.com. It's in the description below. Join us on Facebook. where of course you can always post pictures and ask your question there as well if you want a quick response from either myself or the rest of the monkeys. Twitter, join me on Twitter. I've just started a Twitter account. We're gonna start off 27 as or 2007. Yeah, right. Let's go back in time. 2017. We're gonna start this year off with blasting all the social media. We're just gonna do all social media. That's what we're all gonna do. The Way of the Brush is just gonna be all over social media. Because why not? Because that's what you do these days, right? That's what you do. I don't know. It's what the kids do anyway. I couldn't be bothered. I'd rather just do the show and just have some laughs and tell the fart jokes. But anyway, so Twitter, Facebook, email, t-shirts. If you want to look nice and manly, of course. Jim, no, please don't send topless pics. Jim, please don't, because I'll post them. If you do. Oh God, where was I? Oh yeah, t-shirts. Get t-shirts. If you want to look like a connoisseur of all that is good and right in this universe, nothing says it like a Way of the Brush t-shirt. Handles, the steady hand grips will also be restocked in the mini wargaming store soon enough, so keep your eye out for that. But of course, I'll tweet that, and of course we'll put a Facebook post, and it's just gonna be all over the site. You guys are gonna be sick of seeing my posts after a while. You guys are gonna be like, oh my God, Kris, stop with the posts. Like, what the frick? Plus, too, I started Twitter too because I wanted a place to share my random thoughts, and so I'm just gonna start just posting random thoughts there as well. So I think that's it, right? That's it. Yeah. So take care of your brushes. They'll take care of you. And I will see you guys next week in episode 144. 144. We're getting up there. I don't know how high this show will go, but we're getting up there. So take care. Be good.